Welcome to Indy.
I love to compete. You know, I want to be one of the best that ever played.
Give Matthew his MVP.
For the stars of tomorrow, the journey begins now.
Oh, hurdles him in.
That's why he won the Heisman Trophy.
I'm a backyard football player, getting open, catching the ball.
I'm a guy that'll make you miss, that'll run through you.
I want to be great, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be great.
When you get picked up by somebody, you can turn the tide of somebody's organization.
The new sack king.
Who at the NFL Scouting Combine will turn into the stars of tomorrow.
Another highlight reel performance.
Put something on tape. We are going right now.
An opportunity to take another step toward their dreams.
I'm just excited to see where I can possibly take the team.
This is the NFL Scouting Combine.
Their defensive tackles are currently on the screen, and why is that, Daniel?
Well, we're going to see this group up first. There's some big, powerful men, and going back to my previous point, very similarly graded. You got 5 guys between number 27 and 41 for me. Leading us off is Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech, who's someone who just kept getting better and better for that dominant Texas Tech defense this year, and then was able to parlay what you saw at the end of the year into the All-Star game setting at the Senior Bowl. And we'll see how he can finish up the process here at the Combine, all the way through to Kristen Miller, Peter Woods. It is a really, really good group. You don't take my word for it, though, Rich. Let's
see some footage.
Let's see these guys move around. Here's Hunter. And again, this is a very big man at 6'3.5", 318 pounds. This is the game against Oregon in the playoffs. From the very first snap, he made his presence known. Then Peter Woods, he was a little bit heavier in 24, played around 319, 320 pounds. He's lightened up to the point now where he's under 300 pounds and someone who moves around really well and has a chance to be a disruptive interior player.
Dancing Bears, you hear them called. Sometimes Warren Sapp referred to his own defensive tackle group as a bunch of bowling balls of butcher knives, and they're going to be rolling down the 40-yard dash line. Big men running.
But then I was on the 40s instead of the 10s.
So we're okay. So you'd be timing at the end, is what you're saying.
Yes, but I would come home from every pro day.
Fold 6'6" and a quarter into a starter's position for 40. He's a 505.
He had an all-out effort sack against Diego Pavia. You pop on the Vanderbilt game. He plays hard.
I think he's a 5'11" runner.
DNA match.
This past year, right, you had Leonard Williams, Byron Murphy, both drafted in the top half of the first round. You know,
they had an effect in the Super Bowl.
They certainly did.
Brandon Cleveland of NC State.
Okay, buckle up, Rich.
Why are we buckled
first
for Zane
buckle. It's the
Durant,
first
sir?
buckle up because he is very, very explosive. And every year we have Penn State guys that come in here with big reputations, and they always live up to it.
It's a nice start. Look at that split.
He got out.
Oh, boy. Thank you for telling me to buckle. 40 of Bryson Eason. Slight improvement.
Well, that's why you get 2 cracks at it.
Hear the exhales prior to taking off on a nice
start.
split.
It's a really good start.
4.88.
It's a great, and that's where the lateral range, and that's when he runs over the guard and the running back on the way to pick up a sack. So he's got a little lower body twitch and explosiveness to him. We'll see if it translates to the time here.
There's your split. 4.83. Nicely done. Here's Lee Hunter. Again, the top-ranked player at this position. Daniel Jeremiah's top 50 prospects board. Trying to improve on that 40 time. If he can, and he does.
Nicely done. That's a big improvement.
Stacy?
What a personality. DJ and I talked about this week with Lee Hunter, such a leader for his defensive front, but big time trash talker. Guys, at his media, the assembly at his media riser was kind of spectacular. And interestingly, he said, if I talk trash to you, I'm going to get your best. And when I get your best, you're going to get me better.
And who it comes up with.
Keenan, Charles, Jackie Marshall of Baylor.
It's a great time. That was a smooth run.
Chris McClellan of Missouri ran his 40.
He's got a lot of size and length, 34-inch arms, and those are solid numbers.
Southeastern Louisiana
he got out.
Lion.
That was a smooth.
Albert Regis.
Let's finish up strong here.
4.92. He's moving.
Oh, yeah.
4.88. There you go. That's a strong finish. Our first simulcam of the combine, sir. It's Zane Durant with Dak from his year in 2016 and Mahomes the year after that.
I feel like we do this to Mahomes every year, by the way.
Yeah, and then he complains about it. Rightfully so, I might add. But the defensive tackles are getting bigger and faster every year.
As for your final 40s for Group 1, Zane Durant, he was scooting out there, Charles Davis.
It is absolutely unbelievable when we look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys under 4'9". Not even getting to 5, and we're talking 290-pound plus for every one of them.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the best performances of the day. Lee Hunter, the best defensive tackle in the group, according to our Daniel Jeremiah. You saw him at the Senior Bowl. He just continued to wow us.
He certainly does, and when you talk about a man this big, getting on his feet and making these types of moves, look at him go over the bags. Look at how light he is on his feet, despite the fact we're talking about 320-plus pounds, and then change of direction, turn and go. Not going to be like the edge guys we're going to see later, but everything else we're seeing is really starting to check the boxes when he goes through the bags. Watch the spin move right here. Comes through it again, rip. Now you got to go up and under and down.
We mentioned Zane Durant, a 4.75. Only 3 players over the last 2 decades have run a faster 40 at 290-plus pounds. That group includes Mario Williams, Teron Armstead, Lane Johnson, pretty good football players. What do you think of this kid?
Really good football players, but I think that maybe he had the best on-field work of any of the defensive linemen did Zane Durant of Penn State. Look at how fluid his movements are. Still has the balance. You see how he just wrapped there and came right down the line of scrimmage square? That's what you're looking for. No wasted movement, staying tight to the line of scrimmage, going and getting the quarterback. Look at him with the bend, pick it up, put it back down.
Darrell Jackson Jr. did not run. It's hard to believe this body frame is 315 pounds, Charles.
And with that fro, perfect
Yes.
here in Indianapolis. He could have played with the old
ABA. I love it.
Opposite George McGinnis. But look at again, the footwork, the quickness as he goes through it, maybe a tad high in terms of what he's doing. He's got to drop down just a little bit, but it's all right there for you. We've had him come to the Senior Bowl after being at the East-West, and he was very impressive in his few days there.
Football on a stick, making its return.
Did you see the get off?
Yeah.
On the snap? And look at him bend down, place it down. The only thing there, lost his inside ski. Got himself back up.
Way to stick with the Winter Olympics theme. Well done. Caden McDonald also didn't run, played his college ball a little bit east and north here at Ohio State. One of the best around.
Yeah, one of the best around. And another one of those stories of waiting your turn at a big school and loaded with talent and then emerging and in one season making a name for yourself. I believe he's Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year. First season as a starter at Ohio State. Made his bones that way, and when you see him right here, you see all the movement and all, but does that body type say run stuffer? Absolutely. Good luck trying to move him off the line of scrimmage.
Could be one of 4 Ohio State defenders that goes in the top 25 of this draft or so. Caleb Banks, he cut his day short because of a cleat issue, and don't laugh at that because he missed most of the college season with a foot injury, but he definitely has some athleticism too.
I mean, look at that. When you're jumping out there 9'6", verticaling at 32 inches, good shoes, bad shoes,
right?
That all works.
Grayson Halton, good athlete as well out of OU.
Stuck the landing too to make it a 9'6" broad jump. That power coming out of your stance and exploding into an offensive lineman. And look at the vertical, 36.5.
Also ran a 4.82, which is pretty good. Albert Regis Out of Texas A&M, one of 13 Aggies out here. Of course, his collegiate head coach stopped by with Rich and DJ in the booth.
You think Coach Mike Elko's got a proud disposition
Should
right
be.
now? And while we're watching all this, you see these vertical jump numbers, 34, 36, 36 and a half? Those are numbers little guys are going to jump.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to see those out of them as well. And we're talking about these big people going up in the air and putting up these types of numbers.
Durant is going to be interesting. Obviously, he's a little vertically challenged, no pun intended with the vertical jump, but he did make almost 40 starts there in Happy Valley.
When you look at the top players in this draft class, these are just inside my top 21 guys here, starting with 3 guys who are worthy of a top 10 pick with Bailey, Reese, and Bain. And then there's much longer list beyond Mesidor and Howell. I mean, you can get into 9, 10 guys who've got a chance to be first or early second round picks. It is a really, really loaded class. And one of the more intriguing guys, and probably the largest discussion on a player so far this week in Indianapolis, has been on this guy, Ruben Bain Jr., because the tape is exceptional, and when you watch him, you'll see it all. Relentless effort. He absolutely never stops working. He's got knockback power. If he gets to your chest, he will knock you off your pins. That's a 330-pound tackle at Texas A&M. He went right through. You want to kick him inside, let him rush over guards. He's too quick. He's too powerful. He's able to win there. They threw lots of attention to him. Indiana tight end, not going to happen. He's able to defeat that block with those violent hands and get home. And just the overall rugged physicality, just chucking dudes. Every tape you watch, you see it with him. Now, the comparison, and here's the discussion point. You look at Melvin Ingram, was a great player with the Chargers. You look at that arm length number, 31.5, which is extremely low. Bain came under 31. And we've talked about Ruben Bain, but how about his teammate and Akeem Mesidor, who, if you've watched the Miami Hurricanes on their march to the national championship game, you couldn't help but notice number 3 and number 4. How about the violent hands? You'll see it when he's working outside as well as when he's working inside. The bend and close. We've seen this exact drill. Can you keep it tight and can you close and finish? He's excellent in that department. Then again, over guards, both him and Bain, they are a nightmare inside. A little inside-out move. Able to get home there. And then how about this meeting at the quarterback between number 3 and number 4?
Who are you keeping your eyes on here with the edge?
Well, listen, there's so many great ones here, but one in particular, because we saw Lee Hunter here, the defensive tackle, had an exceptional year at Texas Tech. Guess who he played next to? A guy by the name of David Bailey, who we're going to see with the edge rushers here from Texas Tech. A transfer from Stanford. You and I were talking about this off camera. Graduated Stanford in 3 years and then went to Texas Tech on a nice NIL and made a major impact coming off the edge, rushing the quarterback, making quarterbacks move, feel them. Look at how he has the offensive tackle back on his heels, has the leverage on him up underneath, and then turns around and finishes off the play. No, that's not the old Houston Oilers. That's the University of Houston wearing those uniforms.
That's not Alan
David
Pinkett
Bailey
getting
from the
tackled?
backside. No, that is not Alan Pinkett getting tackled. And how about the comparison? Brian Burns, the Spider-Man himself with the New York Giants. The comp is there, and David Bailey has that kind of ability.
There he goes.
Long stride.
4.85. 4.162 is the split. 4.51 for David Bailey. That is a box checked.
Yeah, and I said those top guys, 4.55. He went right underneath that, and I think he didn't have a total clean start either. I think he can go faster and potentially get into the 4.4s.
We'll see for his second time, but
that little stumble initially there, and then he got out and rolled.
I mean, the guys who are 4 and 5 on your list, Narvell Reese and Sonny Styles, are all in the running for a top 10 pick, if not maybe second overall in this draft. Jay-Sean Barham.
He's a good player. He's running.
Terrific at Michigan. Made 1.64 split. And a 4.64 40.
Really good time.
Terrific. You said really solid.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got faster to go at his pro day, Rich. I'm trying to put a little carrot out there for him.
All right. He's gums, damn it. 39 vert for height. Not too shabby.
He plays hard.
Nice split. 4.64. He's 21 on Daniel Jeremiah's draft board at a combine, running a 40 with a great split and a nice time.
He's another one that's going to be a part of the arm conversation. His arms are shorter than Ruben Baines, but you see him win with the speed and burst off the edge, and he never stops. Both those guys very relentless players. Yeah, he's 6th overall.
And he's your 3rd pass rusher. Tavius Hutchins. 4.74 has been improved upon.
So it's great to get all this stuff in, and then we can get on with our draft process.
What do you look for when you're watching the defensive line group?
For how you guys are able to get all the way to the finish line as you're at an event like this. Not only guys you could be looking at the bottom of the 1st round, but really all throughout the draft. How important is it to build out the depth of
edge? So it's just, you want to be waves of defense.
He can split. 4.55. All right, so we're seeing some 4.5s now.
I actually saw some of the guys in the interviews. I was like, man, I'm sorry, I screwed up the whole recruiting process. Like, if you went to Michigan, it would have been way better.
Against South Carolina was awesome in the Senior Bowl. That's a great 10 split.
Stride.
That's awesome. That's great for him. That's a really good time for him.
Charles?
For Josh Allen down in the red zone. And be a nice compliment to Khalil Shakir and those tight ends.
26th overall, the Bills draft.
He's running.
Ryder with a nice split, and then a 4.79.
R. Mason Thomas came in at 212 pounds at Oklahoma and has built himself up. He's built his body up, and he's built up as a player. They lost his lid. Lost his hat about the 30, 35. 14.5 sacks, 2 sacks in the Senior Bowl.
He's rolling. 4.74.
Another one had a nice all-star game, the East-West game with a sack safety.
4.9 flat.
That's a wrap for your edge rushers who came out of the gate fast. We had 4 of them sub 4.640s, led by the valedictorian of this class, David Bailey, who I'm sure grabbed the attention of the New York Jets, who sit currently at 2 after their trade of Jermaine Johnson earlier on Thursday, and probably a bunch of other teams. We are down on the field as we get ready to get you set for the 3rd and final group of the day with the linebackers. We'll talk about Sonny Styles momentarily, but it's Charles Davis, Chris Rose with you. You got to hang out with the edge rushers.
Yeah,
pretty much as billed.
I mean, you mentioned the 4 that broke 4.5, or in the 4.5s and broke 4.6. That was 10 that were under 4.7. I mean, it's just crazy with what we're doing, all right? David Bailey, who may be the number 2 pick in this draft, came here, and oftentimes we see guys just kind of pick and choose what they're going to do. David Bailey did not miss a rep. He did everything in the on-field drills, and he did not disappoint, Chris Rose. There's a reason he was a double-digit sack guy last year at Texas Tech, and I'm telling you right now, people are evaluating where does he come off the board, and it's going to be early.
Yeah, so he graduated early from Stanford, which is impressive enough, right?
3 years for a degree.
So he had 14.5 sacks in 3 seasons with the Cardinal, 14.5 where he tied for the FBS mark.
1 year at Texas Tech.
Not bad at all. There were plenty of other guys that certainly wowed us as well. You and DJ couldn't get over the role of Malachi Lawrence out there.
Hey, listen, this is not a guy that many people were talking about. You see him stumble, but look at the recovery, and then go and get it done. Now watch him go over the bags. Look at the smoothness. Eyes are up for the most part, seeing the coach, making the break, redirecting, and off he goes. I got a text from a player personnel guy in the league who said, hey, I liked him early. I had a 3rd-round grade on him. That number may go up for this young man.
Yeah, 20 career sacks, ran a 4.52 in the 40, and did a little bit of everything on this day. And
look at him getting down and running the hoop. Look at the bend. Pick it up, put it down, controlled, and then look how tight he stays going down the line. And now, even out in this open
go get it.
Drills.
Go get it. That's like CD back in Tennessee.
Look at him. You can just imagine pinning the receiver to the sideline and snatching.
You know, Cassius Howell's going to be one of those interesting players because he was so productive at Texas A&M, but
you're going to hear about the arm length.
Right, and the measurables and everything else. What'd you see?
So saw what we saw at Texas A&M. when you watched him play the game, he played with an unbridled joy, didn't he? A passion and energy each and every snap. And I think he went through his drills in similar fashion. You see, this is what DJ was talking about the arm length, that for him, he's got to really get down there to pick things up and put it back down, because they don't want you dropping it from height. They want you picking it up, putting it down, and showing that bend and flexion. But look at him moving so smoothly out in open field drills for guys used to just rushing straight ahead and going and getting the quarterback. I don't care if he double or triple catches it. He caught it.
Keldrick Falk, one of the youngest players that's going to be available in the draft from Auburn. He did not run the 40, but you certainly saw the athleticism on full display.
Yeah, and you know, it's the versatility, and you're using the right word for it, because where are you going to play him? In different spots on different downs and distances, more than likely. Does he move inside over the guards in certain pass rush situations? Does he stay out on the edge? Can you drop him into coverage? Are you going to bring him in from different places? This young man is pretty darn good, and you mentioned how young he is.
Yeah, he's super toolsy,
so
and obviously he didn't have the productivity that he wanted his last year at Auburn. There's no question about it, but there's coaches that are going to say, boy, let me have a shot at him.
Hey, remember Adafe Owe? Talk about no productivity. He had 0 sacks at Penn State, went in the first round.
That's a great point. Zion Young to finish up this group at Mizzou. You got up close and personal look with him at the Senior Bowl.
Sure did, and it was with Stacey Dales yesterday, and was talking about Zion Young, and she was talking about, did you see the quads on that young man? And he is high-powered. I mean, you talk about horsepower with those quads. Michigan State transfer, goes to Missouri, and does pretty darn well. Had his teammate as a defensive tackler, Chris McKellen. Good luck trying to block those guys when you're trying to play Missouri.
Yeah, good size, 262 pounds. Firecracker out there, ball of energy.
Yeah, and I asked him, what do you like to do in terms of setting people up with a pass rush? And he said, power right out of the gate. After power, everything else comes off of it.
TJ Parker out of Clemson as well. Man, there's so many guys available. The most edge rushers we've ever had going round one. Back in 2019, that was a class led by Nick Bosa back then. And boy, we could get to 7 this year.
Yeah, the numbers there. Look, the DJ has 7 edge rushers in his top 32 out of his initial top 50. So that tells you exactly what we've got going on, because, as he said, if we got up to 10 more, there could be 3 or 4 more edge rushers in that. And Parker's a guy that bigger numbers as a junior than as a senior. But we like to say, as they say in the scouting community, grade the flashes. Those flashes his junior year have stayed with people. And he had a big finish his last year with 3 sacks against South Carolina in that annual South Carolina-Clemson game.